Hey everyone, I'm Mark Smelzer, Chief Content Exec at Julius Mutual Group. Welcome to the Zing Zoom interview series. These short snack-sized interviews are with fun and interesting people in our business. And today's is no exception. I had the pleasure of speaking with my dear friend, Barbara Innamorati from VOCATEUR. So sit back and relax, and we'll be right back with Barbara. And we're back with Barbara Innamorati from VOCATEUR. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you. It's nice to see you, Mark.
Nice
always
to see
smile
you.
when I see you. You always have a smile on your face when I see you. That makes me happy.
No, thank you. Because I like seeing friends and it makes me smile. So it's win-win. So Barbara, we've known each other for a while now. Began with me coming by your booth several times during trade shows, and we'll talk about that in a second. But one of the things that I've always loved, and I'm sure the viewers would love as well, is your interesting backstory, how you got into the business, which we were talking earlier. I think you could title it From Mergers and Acquisitions to Henry Bendel. But can you share it with us?
Yeah. Actually, I like to say that I went from spreadsheets, finance, to line sheets, jewelry. So I have a very unlikely path, which I think a lot of people sometimes do. You know, it's not always obvious. So I was really professionally, I spent my career in finance, specifically mergers and acquisitions, buying and selling companies for corporations. And one day, my boss came into my office and said, guess what? You're fired. The group is being disbanded. And I was like a deer in the headlights, because ever since business school, I basically went from one job to the next job, and I never had that happen. And they were basically getting rid of our group. And this was a large Fortune 100 company. And I had been there many years, had just completed the biggest deal of my life for them, which was $1 billion acquisition. So it was a shocker, and didn't really know what to do. But I am the poster girl for sometimes great things coming in ugly packages, because for not losing that job, I can guarantee you that ÉVOCATEUR would never exist.
Right.
So I started experimenting with gold leaf as a way to, I don't know, keep myself busy. But it really came to me. It really happened because many years earlier, when I was a student in London, like in the last century,
literally the last century.
I went to school in London, and while I was there, I jumped into the National Gallery. I made a trip into the National Gallery of Art because they were having this exhibit of Gustav Klimt, who was the early 20th century artist who worked with gold leaf. And it was at that, when I was 20 something, when I was at that exhibit, I saw the painting, The Kiss, and he put gold leaf on his paintings.
Right.
And I had no idea what it was, but it really stuck with me.
Wow.
So fast forward. And then I went to school, finished school, got married, had kids, had my corporate career. And it came to me, as I, sitting there going, what am I going to do? I decided that I love jewelry, always had loved jewelry. And I didn't know why jewelry wasn't made with gold leaf. And being an outsider, it's like I had no preconceptions of things I could or couldn't do.
Which sometimes that's the best way.
And I literally bought gold leaf, and it was really as simple as that. I had a vision of what I wanted it to look like. And obviously I'm trying to make this a more streamlined story. 18 months of trial and error, and I had a product.
Wow. And you were telling me that there was a day when you could actually line up and present to the buyers at Henry Bendel.
Yeah. So I initially gave a bunch of pieces to a local store in my town in Connecticut. She did very well. And that kind of gave me the courage to do what they call the open sea at Henry Bendel. And that was a very famous event in the fashion industry, whereby twice a year, any designer could line up in the morning and, show their wares to a table. It was like there's these three buyers, I'll never forget, we're sitting at a card table. And the line was like lining up for, a rock concert tickets, because we had to get there By the way, I was standing in front of Henry Winston, which I thought was a good sign because the Bendel side door wrapped around. I have pictures of me standing in front of Henry Winston with my friend. And the line started moving. We got there at 6 a.m. I think the doors opened at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And so the line started moving and a lot of long faces coming back the other way. And,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, well, we're here. Let's just give it our best and put it out on the table. The buyer, the jewelry, we were doing belts as well at that time. Buyer loved it and said, how would you like to start with some trunk shows? And
Oh my God.
that gave me the commercial validation to basically quit because I had a smaller job after I had lost my job. I went into another business of private equity and gave me the commercial validation to really quit my job. And here we are. 12, we're almost 12 and 13 years. We'll be 13 years old in August.
Fantastic. Fantastic. One of the things that, sort of drew my attention to your brand and to you, and has always been fun to witness, is that at trade shows, you've always got a crowd and there's always really enthusiastic retailers, passionate retailers at your booth. And I just thought maybe you could talk a little bit why you think maybe, you've been able to achieve that.
A couple things. I think we have a very unique product, so people aren't used to seeing it. And, we hear that from time to time. I've never seen anything like it. This is so interesting. Tell me about it. That's one thing. The other is I really feel passionate about gold leaf. I'm like the poster girl for gold leaf. I've been to the factory of our supplier, Manetti's, they're the largest gold leaf manufacturer, and they're in Italy, not far from Arezzo. And it's really a magical material. So I'm passionate about this because it transforms anything. And I find it wonderful. So I feel that my retailers, when people stop by our booth and if they listen to me talk about it, they get enraptured because this passion is authentic. I still feel, all these years later, when I was that mad scientist trying to, up late at night, trying to figure out how to create this, I think they feel that. And I also like to think that we're, a good partner to our retailers. We try and work with them. I always put myself in their shoes. What do they need? How can we help you? I mean, we really mean that. I mean, we are, I think I just mentioned to you earlier, in that we try to be proactive in stock balancing. We'll call people, our retailers, and say, how's it going? Are there any pieces that aren't moving? We want to make sure that, there's good turns and it's doing well. So I think, that helps the relationship as well. We really mean it when we say, we care about our retailers and we want to be a good partner for you.
I mean, that's so great to hear, because with all the changes in the world and in technology and in retailing and everything, manufacturing, it's great that those tried and true of, truly being passionate about what you do, truly loving your own product, and then also having some empathy for your customer, in this case, the retailer, that those tried and true things can still be so foundational. I think that's great.
Yeah. I mean, full disclosure, it's hard when you go from a hobby, which it started out just like doing here and there, to a full-blown business, right? Where you have customers and employees and, to keep it fresh. So it's, that's the hard part. I still have a lot of passion for it, but, I'm running a business too. So to keep it's very important to keep the love and remember why I started it. So I have to remind myself on those days where things are crazy and we're running from trade show to trade show, or we have an issue with a shipment or supply chain issues. So.
Yeah, I know. Is that classic thing of going from a vocation, from an avocation to a vocation? It can be a challenge. All right. Well, as always, these are fast. And so we have one last question. I know you've got a lot coming up, including 2 family weddings. But what's on the horizon? What are you excited about moving forward?
Well, personally, I'm really excited about both my kids getting married within 3 months of each other. I wanted to kill them. So my son is getting married next month in May. Wow. And my daughter's getting married in August. And unfortunately, they're far away, but we're a very close family. But my son's getting married in LA and my daughter's getting married in Boulder, Colorado. So that's the big news in my personally and what I'm really looking forward to.
And you're a skiing family. That pulls you all together.
Yes, we always do our family ski trips, and it's probably one to me. And I know you do it too, because I've seen the pictures of your little speed demon, Nolan. He's going to be a ski jump. I decided he will definitely be a ski jumper because he just goes straight down and he goes fast. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I'm always watching that. So yeah, the family's important, and always never lose sight of that. That's the most important thing I do. Is everything with family. So we're excited about that. I'm also excited about my sunflowers. We created this whole. That's why I'm wearing it. This whole collection for Ukraine.
Oh, awesome!
And, sunflowers are their symbol of peace. Yep. So excited to report that we started this last month. And it's going to go till the end of April. And we're making 100% of the profits are going to Save the Children, which is a terrific charity based in our, very close to where we are in Connecticut, in Fairfield, Connecticut. Beautiful. They've been around for decades. So they are helping not just children, but the families in Ukraine with all kinds of things that they need during this very, very tragic and heartbreaking time. So that's we're happy that we and our retailers who are buying it, they then make a donation based on the sunflowers that they sell.
So it's getting double contribution.
Yep.
Wonderful. All righty. Well, that's it for today.
Thank you.
This has been so fun. Always a pleasure seeing you, and
same goes here.
Looking forward to seeing you on the circuit.
Yes. See you at the next show.
All right. See you around.